Several weeks back, we had a video on the channel about some of my concerns on my home ASIC mining shed and can it handle the heat coming here in Pennsylvania over the next few months. Well, I took all your recommendations, I read all your comments, and we took the first steps to address some of that heat. Let's jump inside and we'll talk about it. All right, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. This is my ASIC mining shed on my electrician's property that we've partnered up on. We have a full intake wall side here. The bottom vents are gable vents that do have MERV3 boar's head filters. Up top, they're completely pass-through vents just to add additional airflow that I found that I needed. A little Weather XM miner up there. On the front of the shed, these are lights and also cameras. And this is about a 10 to 15-year-old vinyl shed that we renovated. And on the back side here, we do have 4 AC Infinity T16 shutter fans. They do about 2,500 CFM each, giving us about 10,000 CFM. Now, one of the challenges we brought up in a previous video that we're starting to see as it warms up here in Pennsylvania is that I have the shed completely maxed out right now on power. We didn't have that last August when we went ahead and opened up the shed for mining. But it is an A-frame, as you guys can see. It's got a peak to it. And the challenge is, well, actually, let's go inside. We'll recap on it, and then I'll show you my solution.
I wanted to show you guys this. So, what is this? Well, most of you guys know this is a hash board, right? Well, this is actually an Bitmain Antminer L7 hash board. This was actually the one that went bad, and that I did a video on not too long ago. Well, it's back up and working. And huge shout out to the team over at BT Miners. They actually offer repair services. And I really didn't even know that. I wasn't sponsored or anything. I just found them online because I really didn't want to send this thing all the way to China and have to wait, what, months and pay a fortune to get it repaired. So what did I do? I actually found BT Miners offered repair services right in New York. So I looked it up online, filled out some information, wrapped it up and shipped it up to New York, and bam, it's been 3 weeks. They sent it back. It needed a few chips replaced and some resolders, but we're back up and working. So just wanted to give a huge shout out. We did get our D9 from BT Miners, and wanted to give a shout out to BT Miners for offering repair services stateside. Go check them out. I'll put a link directly down below, directly to their website. Tell them I sent you. Maybe it'll save you a few bucks.
All right, so coming into our shed here, I'm going to try to talk a little bit louder. So we're inside our shed here. We have our intake wall, all passive intake. We have our ASIC miners here in the middle. We sent a lot out for hosting recently, but we still have a number of units here. We're currently running a 150 amp sub panel that is trenched from the house. So we're about 25,000, give or take, 25,000 watts total. So, as we talked about in my previous video, the air is coming through the ASIC and then coming out the rear side to our exhaust fans. Well, oversight on design, these things happen. We're not perfect. There's no manual for these things. It's very much trial and error. My heat is coming out of my ASICs, even my top ones up here, and it's not all getting sucked downward out of our exhaust fans. We are using the AC Infinity controllers here. Right now they're at a speed of 7. When it gets up to 105 in here, it'll go up to a speed of 10. So, was it an oversight? Most likely. These probably should have been higher up. My shelves should have been lower down. And you guys gave me a ton of really good recommendations, but I wanted to start out with micro changes. So the challenge is, as we said, the heat comes out, doesn't go through the fans. Some of that heat is going up and then following the ridge line. And then what's happening is it's kind of accumulating up here. Now, the ridge vent's sealed off because I don't want to pull air in. We have so much negative airflow in here, that would not act as an exhaust. It would act as an intake. I don't want air coming that way, so that's sealed off. So the heat will slowly rotate back down onto my intake side. Now, I'm not having any like overheating or anything like that, but I've been actively monitoring my temperatures. 𝐔𝐬 sells a kit of 6 of these, and I placed them all over the place here by the network equipment, by the intake side. We have them over there, look, on the exhaust side, all over the place to kind of help me monitor the temperatures in the shed. So my first micro step, and you guys gave me all different types of good ones. Lower down the rack, you know, put all the ASICs on the bottom below. That's a great first step, not bad. I'm heavily considering that. Some of you guys talked about doing a hot and cold aisle. Some of you guys talked about doing a hot box back in here. Lots of really good ideas. But what I decided to do for my first way to address this is leaving things the way they are for now, as I said, baby steps, and addressing the rising heat. So how do we do that? Well, let me start outside. So if we take a look outside, I replaced the vent that was up here. It was an old square style vent. It was really beat. So the hole was a little bit bigger than my circular vent. So I kind of had to band-aid it and make do. But we went ahead and put in this circular vent on this side. And let me show you the other side. Now, they're not just vents, because if they were just vents, they would act as intakes because of the negative airflow. Here's another one on this side. They're both in that peak, right? Well, let's go inside and let me show you what's on the other side. All right, so we're inside the shed here. There's actually a shelf that you guys can see that I built. We have another AC Infinity controller, and we have a temporary fan power cable. Same thing on this side. You can see we built another shelf with another controller. So what did we do? Well, let's go up here, let's take a look. Up on the ladder. All right, we're up on the ladder here. So here's what we installed. We installed this shelf, and we took an AC Infinity 8-inch inline fan. At max speed, this does 800 CFM. And the nice thing was we made it perfectly level with that outside vent, and we could just slide this AC Infinity fan right up to it perfectly, which was nice. And it's pulling, as you guys can see, we're pulling right up here from the top ridgeline area. And if you look over there, there's the other one right over there. So these currently are set at a speed of 3, which gives you about just over 300 CFM on each side. It can ramp up to 800. I have them wired to a probe. You see there's a little cable here for a probe. And I don't know if you can see it right here near my finger. That's actually the probe. So the probe is constantly reading the temperature right here. And when it hits a temperature of 105, it'll go ahead and speed up to a speed of 7. I can do it to a speed of 10, but this has worked out really, really well. We also installed the one on the other side here. You can kind of see it from the ground right up there, and it worked out really nicely. I'm really happy with it. It's grabbing any of that hot air up top here and just sucking it out. Now, I thought of a bunch of different ways, like, do I make that shelf much shorter? But my thought was like, I really don't want to pull, and it is doing it naturally now, but I didn't want to leave it open to that, the ability to pull cold air in, and it is naturally going to pull some of that up. So I thought this would actually lend a hand of extending out the shelf. I even thought of walling off here, like almost boxing this in, so that it's only really pulling from up top here. So that's an option I'm looking at. However, let's talk about differences. So before we installed this in place, and I really need to wait for a really hot day to really test this out more, but we were seeing a 10 to 15 degree difference between the temperature readings on the back wall here and what was pocketing up here. Now we are less than 1 degree difference between the temperature that's being seen on that back wall and the temperature, there's another probe up there, that each of these probes is seeing up top here, which I think is awesome. Now, to really test this though, we really need to wait until it's 70, 80, 90 degrees outside, because that's going to be the true test on how this is going to work out. Some of you guys caught some of my shorts where we were talking about working with the power company at getting rid of this sub panel, 150 amp sub panel, and installing a 400 amp service in here. That's still on the docket, still on the list. If we do that, I was already talking with Mr. Electrician yesterday. We are going to be rethinking this design. Lots more to come. We're going to completely change this. That rear wall is going to come out. We're going to change up that entire rear wall as well. So lots of really good stuff coming down the pipeline for the channel, for the shed, but that's all going to come down to, can we secure an electric rate that warrants paying for a 400 amp service to be installed. All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up for today. If you guys want links to anything, maybe the controller, maybe these inline fans, which are awesome, I'll leave them directly down below. If you got yourself a garage or a basement or a shed project, to some of these of the T16 shutter fans. Other than that, guys, that's going to wrap things up for today. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Today's video is sponsored by the team over at Quantum Expeditions. Bitcoin mining can be incredibly profitable, but as most of you know, doing it yourself can be complicated and risky. Unpredictable costs, equipment failures, and high energy costs make it very difficult for regular people to achieve consistent gains, let alone scaling up. Quantum Expeditions makes it easy for retail investors like yourself to participate in the vast opportunities of large-scale Bitcoin mining without ever leaving your house. Join a community where you can contribute your knowledge and feedback or learn from the experience of others. Now, for a limited time, you can invest directly in the company through an exclusive Regulation CF crowdfund and earn from the future growth in the industry. Quantum Expeditions just completed their first deployment of Bitcoin miners, 3 weeks ahead of schedule, so now is an excellent time to get involved. Come check out the Quantum Expeditions link in the description below.